Do you ever find yourself struggling to come up with a meal plan for your outdoor adventures? It is gorgeous out here. What are you doing on the ground? I guess I need a better place to set my tripod. So today we're out along the White River. It's one of the two rivers that flows through the town of Greenwater. I'm spending a lot of time out here lately because there's just so many different trails, so many different places that nobody goes to. And here in the PNW, our hiking is immensely popular, which means the trails are incredibly packed, especially on 85-degree spring afternoons. But anyways, we're out here along the Whitewater River, doing a little bit of bushwhacking to get down to the river, where we're gonna cook up some lunch. But as you can see, I'm a little off trail. I walked in on a old state forest road that's obviously been shut down for a number of years, but I'm gonna make my way through it once I figure out how to get down off this ledge I'm on. I know when I first started hiking and preparing my own meals instead of dealing with the dehydrated stuff or just the granola bar and some trail mix, I really struggled with coming up with some ideas that would be simple to prepare on the trail, hearty, and taste good at the same time. It's not as easy as you would expect. It's amazing. Your palate and your appetite's very different when you're out on a hike versus sitting at home with the munchies. So today what I did is I put together an all-encompassing kit with a couple of different varieties on what we could do depending on what the weather's like. Sometimes when you're out there and you're hot and you're tired, the last thing you want to do is cook a meal. So we're gonna build out hummus burritos with a little bit of sun-dried tomato, and it's gonna be a delicious snack on the trail. It's going to give you all the nutrients and the protein and fibers you need to continue on throughout a day without having to fire up the camp stove. And then, just for an added bonus, we're also going to work out a loaded tortellini mac and cheese. And yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a cheese and carb explosion. There is way too much decadence in this meal, and if you're going to be eating it at home, I might judge you. But when you're out on the trail, you can do pretty much whatever you want. So let's get into it. Let's be honest. Sometimes you just don't feel like cooking. But that doesn't mean you need to settle for a bland meal. Today we're gonna make a cook-free meal using a dehydrated hummus. We have some lemon garlic tuna, sun-dried tomatoes. These things are so good. Loaded with moisture. I've been just kind of snacking on them the last couple of days, but we're going to incorporate them in. And then of course, a good old-fashioned tortilla. First thing you want to do is mix up your hummus, and that's really simple. The hummus is going to be a 1 to a 1.5 ratio, meaning however much dehydrated hummus you have, you need to add 1.5 times water to it. Now to add a little bit additional flavor in here, I put in some lemon garlic seasoning and a little bit of salt. So once you've got your hummus fully incorporated, we're going to set that aside and pull out our tortilla. And it's pretty simple. All we're going to do is liberally spread the hummus across your tortilla. And then we're going to Add some nice tuna in there just to add a little bit more protein. And let's not forget our sun-dried tomatoes. Right, well there you have it folks. Simple and easy, no cooking required, and prepared in under 5 minutes. We've got a hummus tuna sun-dried tomato wrap. Delicious, hearty, and very easy to prepare. I think probably my favorite part about this is all of the ingredients easily fit into your standard Ziploc bag and can be thrown in your pack and last for weeks. And the only thing that's going to really go bad is your tortilla is going to start to dry out. As long as you keep the air out of the bag, it'll last for 1 to 2 weeks. Snack time. That's good. That is a beautiful view. Okay, so I'm not going to get on a soapbox and a lecture, but if you're out on a trail and you're trying to blow off some steam, go ahead, have a beer. Shoot off some shotguns, have a great time. Just pick up after yourselves. Such a shame. I wonder if Logan knows they took his box. Oh well, mine now. Guess you've got to admire the dedication of these guys, because I'm about 2 miles away from the road and they managed to carry in an entire case of ammunition and beer. So more power to them for packing it all the way down here to the river, but at least maybe they could have packed it out with them too. I guess I shouldn't complain. They did leave me a nice garbage bag that I can use to pick up after their mess. I guess it's a win after all. Well, I moved away from the river a little bit. It's amazing as it is out there. It is way too hot, and I couldn't find any shaded areas for filming. Unfortunately, that's one of the hazards to bringing you folks along with me on my adventures. A lot of what I look at and view has to be viewed from the angle of a camera, which means we need to make sure it's going to photograph well, or else you're going to be looking at me going, Jeremy, what on earth are you doing out there, man? So here we are. We came back away from the river about 300 yards. We're in the middle of this amazing forest. This obviously is a timber farm, so it's all been stripped and replanted. I believe the sign said that this forest was replanted in the 60s. I could be completely wrong, but I think it said 1964. I'll double check on the way out and fact check myself if I'm wrong. But because of that, it's just tall, beautiful trees, very little ground cover, which makes it pretty easy to walk. Other than ferns, of course. There's ferns everywhere because we are in a rainforest. But just an amazing day. All right, I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't excited for lunch. When I was putting together this meal idea, I started thinking, what would I want as a comfort food after a long, tiring day of hiking? Now, obviously, I wasn't planning on it being over 80 degrees and in the middle of the day on an amazing afternoon. So this is going to be a little bit heartier and heavier of a meal. Probably something that would be better suited for the evening around the camp before you head in for the hike. But for today, what we're going to do is a loaded cheese tortellini mac and cheese. So we've got a combination of our tricolor tortellini. We've used these in other recipes. I'll leave a link for that one. Obviously, we've got our beef sticks, because you guys know how much I love my beef sticks. I'm going to throw in some sun-dried tomatoes, a little bit of lemon garlic tuna, and then the best part, we've got some mac and cheese sauce with some powdered milk, a lot of garlic, and hummus, of all things. I know it's typically not what you think of as putting in when you make a mac and cheese, but hummus is an amazing substitute to add to a creamy decadence to your meal. So I'm gonna get the water on our BRS, get it boiling, and then we'll get cooking. So we're gonna do a combination. We're gonna actually cook our tortellini while we bring it up to a boil, which is gonna give us a little bit less cook time. While those noodles are coming up to a boil, we're gonna go ahead and toss in the beef sticks. That's gonna give them a chance to rehydrate as well. So I've reduced the heat on the tortellini. You're gonna wanna let your tortellini slowly boil for about 5 minutes. That's gonna really speed up that rehydration process. After 5 minutes, remove it from the heat and we're gonna transfer everything into our boiling bag. From there, we're gonna let it sit for another 5 to 10 minutes while we prepare our sauce. This would be the time that we want to go ahead and toss in our sun-dried tomatoes also. You don't have to rehydrate them, but if you do, it adds to the extra richness of the flavor. We'll go ahead and seal up the bag, give it a quick mix, and we'll set it off to the side. Okay, so while those noodles are finishing their hydration in our boil bag, this is where we're going to want to prepare our sauce. And we're doing, as I mentioned, a mixture of hummus, mac and cheese seasoning, dehydrated milk, and a whole lot of richness. The hummus is a 1 to 1.5 ratio with your liquid. The dehydrated milk is roughly the same. So we're basically going to double the amount of volume by adding water. Now comes the easy part. We're going to mix everything together. So we transfer the tortellini, the beef, and the sun-dried tomatoes into our bowl. We're going to add a generous helping of the mac and cheese hummus sauce. And we top the whole thing off with way too much Parmesan cheese. Oh my goodness. I almost forgot the lemon garlic tuna. You can't have a loaded mac and cheese without at least 2 types of meat. There we go. Healthy? No. Delicious? Absolutely. No. I'm glad I remembered to add the tuna. And the lemon zest in that just really adds some extra kick. Mixed in with the sun-dried tomatoes. That is delicious. I'm probably going to need to hike a couple of extra miles today to offset what I'm about to do to myself, but it is worth it. That's fantastic. Well, there we have it. 2 very simple, different, and delicious meals for your next backpacking adventure. I don't know about you guys, but I am stuffed, and I'm gonna hit the trail again. I've got Logan's box and all of his shotgun shells. I'm gonna head back up and see if he wants them back. So until next time, folks, let's get outside and go for a walk.